I am your host, Christene Marie, and I am so excited to chat with you tonight about one of my very favorite questions. What is life giving to you? Y'all, this question it really is one of my favorites. I love to ask it whenever I'm hosting events, whenever I'm working with anyone one to one. This question is something that I never allowed myself to ask or even think about. It was like, well, what's the point of knowing what's life giving to you? And as I really started leaning into this question over the last probably 4 years, the reason why it's one of my favorites is because in the process of asking it and exploring it, we get to know ourselves so much more and we get to experience so much more of life than I don't know. It's like I feel like we wake up. What's life giving? It's like we're self-inducing a jolt of life. It's so fun. Oh, hello. Yay, Brian. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining me at Foundation First Marketing. You're my friend, my one friend. I'm very curious to see. I'm hopeful that, we can get more people engaged. On LinkedIn, though, it was surprising. There's more engagement on there than YouTube. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Minimal, but more engagement. So, anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Y'all, this conversation, this topic tonight, I really, really want to hear from you about what is life giving to you, because every single one of us has, like, it's fun getting to know other people because every single one of us has something so different really driving our core motivations, but also what really is like oxygen in our tank. What actually it's like being hooked up to an IV. I had this moment, I guess. Ooh. I had this moment, I guess, like 3 years ago, where I don't do much acting, but sometimes I'll do some commercial work or just like small stuff. And and so I had gotten off set. This was probably 3 summers ago when I was really kind of early in my journey of coming to know who I am, and, it was just so fun. I left a message for my sisters on Snapchat, and I was like, "Y'all, I feel like I've been hooked up to an IV." And I told them about this acting job. I was like, "I don't know why, but I love it so, so much." And so this question of what is life-giving to you, it's so important because it is so much of life is draining. So much of our jobs, relationships, so much of our days is expending, it's pouring out, it's giving, it's literally draining our battery pack. I don't Has anyone here read The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan? I was advised to read that book a couple years ago, and it was so, so good. It's effectively akin to find the lead domino in your life and go knock it down, because if you were to line up tons and tons of dominoes leading up to the Eiffel Tower, the velocity of all, like, that one domino falling over and knocking all the others down, literally that has the mathematical power to knock down the Eiffel Tower, like the strength of all those mini tiny dominoes. It's insane. And so I recommend it. I mean, in one sense, it's a little bit self-explanatory, but Brian, I think you would like it. Um, the reason why I really latched onto it is because there's a couple of concepts in there that really changed the way that I approach life. One was, okay, if we wake up every morning with 100% in our battery pack, and then as we live every moment of every day, we're slowly dwindling it down. We're slowly draining the battery pack. And so, what I thought to be so interesting is like, okay, if we figure out what's life giving to us, if we figure out what's that, we're being hooked up to an electrical socket, we're getting that jolt of life, that jolt of energy, then we can actually recharge throughout the day rather than just, well, I'm going to be at 15% by the time I get home with my family. And I hate that. Like, they're the ones that we're doing all this for anyways. And so if we can figure out what is life giving to us, we can end up at the end of the day or even midday with those continuous jolts in our battery so that we are constantly recharging. And frankly, we're able to live life at a pretty high charge baseline because we know how to self perpetuate our own charge rather than waiting for sleep to do it or waiting for somebody else to come in and do it. But we're able to self perpetuate, self induce our own life in us, which I love that concept. Um, C. Martin Love, hello. He says, engaging in self discovery can lead to greater happiness. less inner conflict, better decision making, and improved resilience during difficult times. Ah, I love that. It's so, so, so true. Less inner conflict. I actually would love, C. Martin, love for you to unpack that, because the inner conflict piece, I was just, so I'll sometimes do one-to-one coaching, so to say. I don't love that term because I've had some, I just have found that a lot of people who claim to be coaches, it's just weird. I don't know. I don't get a great, I don't really resonate with a lot of coaches. So I don't like to say that I do coaching, but that's the framework, I guess. But the inner conflict piece, I was talking with someone just yesterday about this, and they're constantly at war inside themselves, and they're constantly like, it's like they're never at peace. And so you saying less inner conflict is huge. Y'all, that's freedom, to have peace in your mind, to have peace within you. Oh my gosh. M. Louisa, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on here. Um, Chief the Medicine Man. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Blessings to the chat. Dub Styles. Oh, glad you're back. Hello. Ryan, I think I said that right. I know you've got an A in between Rayon. Sorry, I said that wrong the first time. Good to see you. CGC, what's your OF? What's your off? What's your OF? I don't know what that means. Tell me what that means, and then and then I'll answer. Y'all, I want to know what's life-giving to you. What for you is akin to you being hooked up to an electrical socket? Like literally, what man just recharges you and makes you smile or laugh or just really brings peace? Tonight, to be honest, tonight I was just feeling overwhelmed. So I went and took a hot shower and then took myself out to dinner. And I just like leaned into the headache and stopped trying to do more. And that really, really helped. It was funny. It's like when we start feeling overwhelmed, everybody says, oh, well, go to your to-do list and knock it all off. But I actually needed to intentionally like take care of myself. Dub Styles, I was just asking, uh, who was it? Where did that go? CGC. Oh, so I'm live in two different chats, but someone says, "What's your off?" I'm in, and I don't know what that means. So I was just asking what that means. Jefferson. Oh, well, hello. Thank you for joining. I wasn't expecting that comment. But C. Martin Love says, developing self-awareness requires looking at yourself with curiosity rather than judgment. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. Man, y'all, that is so important. If there's one thing you can walk away with tonight, is that if you want to get to know yourself, looking at yourself without judgment, because really the judgment really, it almost like forces us to close up. Like I had this thought a couple years ago that as I was starting to get to know who am I and like who did God make me to be? Who was I designed and created to be versus who does everyone else expect me to be? I thought of it kind of like, we talk about vertical alignment on the show, but before, so much of the time I was looking east and west. Like I was looking to the right and to the left and looking to everyone outside of me to tell me who I was internally. So my compass was fundamentally broken. It was like navigated east and west rather than pointed north. And so in that process of really coming to know who I was, the only way I could really do that was to replace judgment with curiosity, because for so long as we're kind of like hiding from ourselves because we're going to be judged by ourselves, we never can get to know the truth. And what we find underneath all those layers of self-protection, and it's usually self-protection, performance is there, perfection is there, people-pleasing is there. And underneath all those layers so often are these like wonderful, sweet little humans inside us that, I don't know, I like love the playful parts of me. But if I'm looking at myself with judgment, a lot of times we judge most harshly the thing we feel most vulnerable about. So if we are being judgmental rather than curious, that vulnerability can't be seen. That's not safe. And so this question of what's life-giving to us, it actually goes very much so hand in hand with this question of curiosity, because we can't really come to know what's life-giving until we remove judgment and just look through a lens of curiosity. So I'm so glad you said that, C. Martin Love. I think that that's so, so, so important. Um, Brian says, if you will track damage people because your energy is authentic and rare, but very healing, people end up coming back because they want more access to. And that's why oh, that's so good. Thank you for saying that. Your energy, okay, that's so good. Thank you. I'm gonna screenshot that. Y'all, this is so important. People end up coming back because they want more access to it, and that's why you must value your time. I feel like you just preached to me. I know that that was probably for the whole group, but that was like a preaching. So thank you. That was so, so, so good. So talking about what's life-giving. Um, Brian says, your energy immensely stopped because the jumper cables being the jumper cables to people. I have the energy of a dead battery that will drain you. That's so interesting. Do you really, Brian? I have a hard time believing that. Isn't that so interesting? So here's the question. How do you perceive yourself? So what's life giving to you? How do you like receive life? And then how do you give life to other people? That's an interesting question. What you just said, Brian, actually flips the script a little bit. So what's life giving to you? How do you recharge? How do you actually really, really light yourself up? Do you know how to do that? And y'all, I think that's probably one of the most important things that you and I can know about ourselves is how do we self-administer TLC, tender loving care? Because if I am waiting for somebody else to come and tend to me, man, it's dangerous for them and it's dangerous for me. Now I am not subjective. What's the right word? I am no longer in my power because I am sitting and waiting. And y'all, sitting and waiting is probably one of the worst states for us to be in. Sitting and waiting for someone to come and rescue us, someone to come and light us up, somebody to come and recharge us. If we don't know how to take that kind of responsibility for ourselves, it's really, really dangerous because now we're giving our power away to whoever that person is that we think is going to come and make our life better. And y'all, I know this intimately. I did that for 8.5 years. I did that my entire marriage. I assumed that my husband would be the prince on a white horse and that I was only as worthy as he said I was. Y'all, that is so much pressure to put on our partner or spouse or parent or friend or colleague, looking to them to tell us we're worthy. That's something that they never signed up for that. My husband never signed up for that. I'm sure he was expecting to be with someone who was a partner and an equal. Well, I didn't treat myself as an equal because I didn't view myself as an equal. I thought he was way more, he was up on the pedestal. I always say stool with an STOOL, but pedestal with an AL. My friend called me out on that, which I thought was funny. But anyways, I just really think that this is important. So back to the first question, what is life-giving for you? And then I would love to know, how do you give life to other people? Because I think what you said, Brian, is so important. And I'm so grateful for that. Detroit, good evening. I'm so glad you're here. Louisa, I'm so good. I had a moment this afternoon where I needed to recharge myself, speaking of what's life-giving to you, because I just was feeling kind of burned out. And frankly, anytime I'm starting to feel overwhelmed or burned out, that's my question of where have I given my power away? And how do I come back and tend to myself? What do I need right now to really get back, like come back into alignment? And that's a really, really important question, not just what is life giving to us, but what is the baseline of health that I need to return to? Because if I don't know what my baseline of health to come back to is, it's going to be really, really hard to be able to even know what am I striving for? What's my target? So sometimes there's a target of my own ideal, but sometimes there's the target of, okay, I just want to be fine. Like how do I come back to fine? So I'm doing well now though, but because I tended to myself. C. Martin Love, shifting focus from what is missing to what you already have is a fast track to peace. Ooh, I love that. Maintaining a gratitude journal can rewire the brain to focus on abundance rather than lack. I love the gratitude journal. I started writing one thing I was grateful for every morning. And I actually want to get back into that. Thank you so much for that reminder. A gratitude journal. Y'all, man, there's so much to be grateful about, even though the world is so hard sometimes. But there always is. There's so many things to be grateful for. I have tea. I'm grateful for tea. James, hello from London, England. I am so hopeful to go to London later this year. So hopefully I'll do like a knowing dinner and we can all hang. Sender V, yay, good to see you. Guy Bernard. I started out with my hair down. That's so funny you're saying that. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Dub Styles, facts. Avanish. I am not selling jewelry, but who knows? Maybe one day I will. That'd be fun. I've had actually people ask me about this necklace. My darling got it for me, but I didn't get it. But maybe it will one day. Who knows? Leah, no. I am not on drugs. Straight trolling, hello. I'm so glad you're back. Dub Styles, not everyone deserves access to your energy. Isn't that the truth, man? That's so, so, so true. I just, mic drop moment. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. And y'all, I think that's actually part of what's life-giving for me. And then also knowing what steals my joy, what steals my life, who are the people that do that. I think that's so important. Let's see. Straight trolling, lemons, lemonade. Yeah. Talk about alchemy. I love that. C. Martin Love involves moving beyond a reactionary state to intentionally become someone else's positive story. Oh, that's the most beautiful way to put that. Moving beyond a reactionary state to intentionally become someone else's positive story. Oh, that is so beautiful. I want to be someone else's positive story. That's amazing. Y'all, okay, so today's Course in Miracles lesson, it was My Holiness Blesses the World. Okay, so show of hands. Who is doing that? Because I set my alarm and I actually intentionally did those exercises. So for those who don't know, we read through A Course in Miracles every morning, the lesson of the day at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Although I am going to be moving that, just a heads up, I'm going to be moving that to be 9 a.m. Eastern every morning moving forward. So take note. So I did those exercises every day today. And y'all, I just found myself like really loving people and having an extra kind of capacity, because to your point of intentionally become someone else's positive story, we have the ability to do that, but we have to make sure we're actually predisposed to think that way, to approach life that way, to show up that way. Dub Styles, you're gonna make me cry. Oh, guys, each one of us have the ability to, Dub Style says, reawakening towards happiness. Y'all, we get to do that. We get to do the work for ourselves, reawaken our own selves, bring ourselves joy. There's nothing more. I say empowering, and I feel like that word sounds kind of tropey, but I kind of mean, I mean it for what that word actually means, the integrity of the word. There's nothing more empowering than knowing how to self-perpetuate our own joy. There's nothing more fulfilling and kind of confidence boosting than knowing how to be the conduit of my own peace, where I'm not needing other people. Man, I get to enjoy people. I love my family. I'm one of 6 kids. And I love my parents and I just love being with them. But operating and coming from a place of I need you to make me happy versus I get to do life with you and you're in addition, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier about abundance, like being able to have an abundance mindset, and everything in life external is an addition on top of the fullness that I feel inside of me, the fullness of my own 100% battery charged. But it's my responsibility to charge my own battery. Now, that doesn't mean the other night I was struggling, and I happened to be with my darling at the time, and he just like was very kind to me in the moment and very patient and wonderful. Didn't say anything, just like rubbed my back. It was very, very kind. But I needed to take responsibility. And what was so interesting was that I think that he felt less pressure because I was self-soothing, and then he could just enter into my experience of just kind of like being present with me, but I was taking care of myself. And me taking care of myself wasn't, "I'm fine, I don't need anyone or anything." That's that's not that's not healthy. Like, usually when we're acting that way, that's a sign of we actually are not meeting our own needs. But man, just to be able to go inward and sit with whatever it is that we're feeling, and then if somebody's there, welcoming them to come alongside us or pulling aside to be in private while we do that, it's really, really a beautiful thing when we can learn how to self-soothe, I think that's probably one of the most important things that we can cultivate as as humans. Um, True happiness will only come from drawing close to our creator through the scriptures daily, day and night. Much love, sis. Fresh beats. I think that there's something with what you're saying on drawing close to our creator. So, when I say going like, knowing who we are and learning how to self-soothe and going inward to heal and tend to us, I really believe that Christ is in me. And Colossians says that Christ is in all. So, by way of me actually going inward and tending to myself, well, that's where Christ is. So, by doing that, I find peace. It's so amazing. But for some reason, so much of religion is like God is up there and out there rather than no, he's in us. Like he's literally in us, which is so freaking cool. But the more we ignore ourselves, the more we're actually ignoring our creator because we're made like him. So I love that you said that. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. I know some people may not agree with that, and that's fine. But I'm just curious to hear what you think. Um, I thank God for what I'm grateful for. I love that straight trolling. Isn't that ugh, that's so good. Really truly practicing gratitude. Y'all, I had this thought last year. Gratitude is the antidote. I have found that to be so true in most every relationship and environment in my life. Like gratitude literally makes all the difference. Um uh See, Martin Love, you're a lot of people's positive story. Wow. Thank you so much. Y'all, I want to be like that. I really, really do. And you know what? I got to tell y'all, you're part of mine. Like those of you showing up every night, it's been amazing. I really cannot tell you how much I enjoy what I feel like we're building something. I don't know what yet, but I feel like we're building something towards creating our own lives with intention, showing up for ourselves and for each other. It's really cool. So I want to take a moment and thank each one of you for even being here. Um, it was funny last night. Um, Someone Lender J. We have Sender V and Lender J. Um, Lender J was like, I was playing trivia and I was like, "Oh, that's so fun." So I actually would love for those of you who are here, you guys are kind of the OGs. I want to hear from y'all because I love having fun. And I think that sometimes we can get really, well, I don't know it. We do. We get pretty heavy here sometimes. And I love the idea of like doing games and like making this like once a week we get kind of lighthearted. But I want to not lose the integrity of what we're building. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Is that something you guys would be interested in? Like the person that he was watching, she does like trivia, like 90s trivia or something. And I thought that was so fun. Now I suck at trivia, so we'll probably do something else, but I would love to hear from you guys. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Literally like playing a game and like literally being in community together. So drop it in the chat and I'm going to have a sip of tea and save the chat because sometimes it disappears. Board game night. I love that. We'd kind of have to figure out like I know that I can figure it out like what kind of board game. Um Guy Bernard, join me tomorrow, and I promise I will. Come back tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. That's so funny. Sounds great. 2 rep. Parcheesi. Oh, wait. Parcheesi is where you've got the 5 triangles, right? I think that that's Parcheesi. Oh, I I have not played a board game in a long time. Um, no, I don't think that that's Parcheesi. I don't know. I have to look up Parcheesi. Another one I'm thinking of, I don't know. I guess honestly, trivia could work. I just would look up some fun games. What I love music. I love singing, honestly. Like, I'm not a professional singer or anything, but I love singing. I love dancing. Um, I do love games, but I also love games where we actually like fishbowl. Has anyone heard of that? Where everybody like puts a number in the bowl, or like they don't put a number. I'm sorry. Well, actually, some of them do start with a number where you like choose teams. You've got ones and twos, and then you split up the room, and then everybody writes down nouns on a little piece of paper, and they'll maybe write down like 5 or 6 per person, and then you put them all in a bowl, and then team 1 goes for 30 seconds, team 2 goes for 30 seconds, and the goal is that you're going through as many of the slips as you can, and then whichever team wins and gets the most slips, wins. But here's the fun part is that you do 3 rounds. So the first round, you can describe the slip. The second round, you have to act out the slip, whatever is on the slip of the paper. And then the third round is you get 1 word. So let's say the first one is Santa Claus. You would say, it's Christmas. This is the man in the big white beard and big red coat going down the chimney. Everybody shouts out Santa Claus. Great. And then on round 2, they would act out, ho ho, going down the chimney. And then the third one, they would say Christmas. And then people would say Santa Claus. And so I love that game, but I feel like that's kind of hard to play with all of us here, not live. This is another reason why we need to do a live knowing event. I just think we'd have so much fun. Speaking of, if any of you want to, I'm doing a knowing retreat in March in Scottsdale, Arizona. So let me know if you guys want to come. Straight trolling Game of Life with a winky face. Now I'm wondering what that is. J Fresh Beats. Well, the Bible doesn't teach that Christ is in us, but we can have the mind of Christ through study how he treated us. I completely agree with the mind of Christ. Go read Colossians and tell me what you think of this. If you're serious, I'll read if you tell me to read something. I think it's Colossians 3:12 or 3:2 or something. It says Christ is in all. That's what Colossians says. And then Immortal Diamond by Richard Rohr. He's a Franciscan priest. That's the very first time where I really started being like, holy cow, Christ is in, like, that's amazing. And so there's such a big difference between the old covenant and the new covenant. And we'll do a whole religious conversation at some point. But anyways, Dub Styles, you say definitely. Is that about the retreat? Because if it is, I can send you some details, but it would be fun. It would be so fun to meet in person. I just think we would have such a blast, so much fun. Treat everyone with the same level of love and respect you wish to receive, regardless of whether you know them or not. Hot dog. I completely agree. I think that is so important. And I would love, to that point of like, how are we treating people? There's that golden rule, treat others as you would have them treat you. And then there's another one where it's love your neighbor like you love yourself. Y'all, how much do we actually love ourselves? Are we actually really loving on ourselves and investing in ourselves? Because that law is presupposing good action towards us, is presupposing so much love and kindness towards ourselves. So I think it's kind of fun to think about it that way, because I'm like, oh, all right, well, this is assuming I'm giving myself really good treatment. So I think that that's interesting. Yeah, the golden rule. Okay, Dub Styles, yes. Let me know. I don't know if you want to put your email out publicly, but I'll put mine out. Email me here and I will send you the information about the retreat. It's March 26th through 29th in Scottsdale. So, C. Martin Love, many, including some Christians, believe God's presence is universal, surrounding and sustaining all creation. I feel like that's what's in so much of the Bible, but I don't know. Straight Tolan says, well, Rugorniz says, would you rather lose your legs or arms? Straight Tolan says no. Neither. um, oh, golly, probably my arms if I had to choose. I think that that either way, it's so hard. Detroit, uh, Vir Virginia Star. I'm from Virginia. Well, I have my places there. Omar, thank you. Michi, hi guys. Thank you guys for joining. The great one. Yay, you're back. Y'all, we are just chatting about what is life giving to you and effectively what it's like to be hooked up in like to an IV, hooked up to an electrical socket of like getting a recharge. Because man, when we're charged, what we're able to do and how we're able to exist with others and make real impact in the moment is colossal. So I'd love to know what you all think in terms of what's life giving to you. And actually, let's talk about that. Let's actually talk about what is something that's life giving for you. For me, it's been acting. I'd love. Hi, Bernard. I told you come join tomorrow night, and I promise I'll do it. I feel funny putting it down now. That's weird because now I'm like responding to that kind of request, and I'm not going to do that, but I will have it done tomorrow, I promise. But the thing that's interesting in this regard is, what is actually going to bring you and I life and be the pick me up that we need in the moment so that we're able to not be reliant on other people or external sources, but we can effectively self-heal. And so tell me what are your things? Street Trolling says, charge me up, Scotty. Mark Green, give me lemons. Interesting. Is that really your thing? That's what's life giving to you? Family for sure. Nitros boys. I love my family. I want to know what you guys do. I've got 5 siblings and my 2 parents, and my siblings all have not all of them. I have 2 younger sisters. My older 3 siblings are married with babies, and it's just so much fun. C. Martin Love, some traditions emphasize that because humans are made in God's image, a divine spark or reflection of God resides in everyone. I know that's been something that's really been kind of controversial. And then Jay Fresh, and then we'll go back to what's life giving to you. When the Bible says things like Christ is in you, it's not using relational language, not anatomical or mystical language. It's using relational language. Christ is in heaven, bodily resurrected. Well, oh man, we could go into this. Read Immortal Diamond and then tell me what you think. And I genuinely want to know because this is new for me in the last 2 years, and I feel like my mind has blown, and I'm so excited about this topic. So Sunday, let's talk about this on Sunday. Sundays are really the time that we talk about spiritual intelligence. I'm going to write this down. And then Brian, I promise we're going to talk tomorrow about how to know when our life's on the right track. Yay. Okay, so we've got our topics for the next 2 days. Topic Sunday. And then I want to jump back into the chat of what's life giving for everybody. And I think, okay, hold on. Christ is in you. And this is a topic for y'all. It's kind of divisive in some ways. Which isn't that funny, is that we're more interested in being right rather than knowing what's true. Man, I want to know what's true. I want to know God. Dude. Okay, so tomorrow, how to know. Okay, yay. Okay, back to our question. Okay, so let's see. Okay, learn during. Wait, where do we go? Oh, see you later. Bye. I'm so glad you joined Straight Trolling. Okay, I'm going back. Life's been giving me lots of obstacles to learn doing my journey. I'm letting go. Ugh, dude. Letting go. Okay, so have you read the book Letting Go by David Hawkins? I started that book in August, and I still am carrying it around with me wherever I'm going, whether I'm literally any place I am. It's with me at all times. And I just pick it up. Yesterday, I picked it up when I was in Sedona, and I read 3 pages. I'd already read it and then listened to it, and then I read it again, and I underlined it profusely because it was so good. I love it. So this whole process of letting go, Brian, send me your address and I will send you that book. That book is so huge. I told my darling, I was like, I think if every single person read Letting Go, we would live in a completely different world. Um, Johnny Koger, thank you. Thanks for joining. Um, uh, all right. Oh, Nitros boys. Okay, fishing, gathering, and eating together. Isn't that funny how eating together, it's like an event. It really, really is. Church events. I love that. Fishing, gathering. I love that. That's so much fun. Okay. When Christians are said to have Christ in them, it means they accept his teachings, they imitate his mindset, they submit to his authority, they are guided to Holy Spirit, which comes from God. I I totally well, frankly, I always believe that too. So I know what you're saying, and Jesus said it's well, let's talk about it on Sunday, and then let's actually go back and forth, because I want to hear more from you. Um, Dove Styles, Mark, I do paint and body as well. Just been a struggle to get a chance to shine out west. Um, C. Martin Love, I work in the casino interesting industry. It's been a blessing to do what I do. I have never once I've walked through a casino in Vegas, but I have never actually pulled a slot, and I really want to. So that's on my bucket list. Maybe I'll be able to do that this year. I think it sounds like so much fun to do the ching. I would love to do that. Okay, so Sage, I don't know what that is. Risotto. I don't know what this is. And then someone's laughing. I don't know what this is. I don't know. Untethered Souls did it for me. Ooh. Oh, who is that by? Is that by that woman? No, Untethered. I think that there's a book by Untethered, but okay, Untethered Souls. I'm gonna write that down. Untethered Souls. Do you recommend using Audible for people getting into reading, or should people just read the book on their own? You know what? Okay, great question. I like to read the book and listen at the same time because, frankly, the more I engage all of my senses as much as possible in anything, man, I'm so much more present. So by listening to it and reading it, and sometimes I'll even like kind of read aloud quietly with it, I just feel so much more present with the book. So I actually like doing both, and then it engages more quadrants of your brain. So you're just more present and more actively involved in the book you're reading. Um, oh, Sender V, what is that? What's happening? The great one. Maybe it's better to have never pulled a slot. Probably. Mike Sanger, Untethered Souls. I'm writing that down. Look, here's my little notebook for the Knowing Retreat. It's so pretty. Mike Sanger, Untethered Souls. All right, cool. And y'all, if anybody else wants to get that book, Letting Go, so good. I've even thought how cool it would be if we did kind of like a book club. So for those of you who are just joining, we're talking about doing like some kind of a trivia night or just some fun thing, because I love to have fun. And sometimes we can be so like these topics that we get into on the Knowing Show. We talk about grief, we talk about healing and growth and always being better. And so it's like, okay, well, how can we also just enjoy the moment, enjoy here and now, enjoy life? And my hope, actually, I want to host a big knowing experience probably in the next year where we like literally get a stadium and it's all huge and wonderful. And it's healing, but it's also so fun, like kind of like grown up camp for kids, for adults. Because y'all, we lose the childhood wonder. We lose the childhood spark that makes us, to your point earlier, of being curious. We lose that and we forget how to play. And life is so hard. We need to like bring joy back. And so I want knowing to be both. So I'd love to hear. Earlier we were talking about some different games and trivia, but I'd love to just know, like, are people on board with that and up for it? I was so inspired by this woman who did like this trivia. And now granted, she has like thousands of people join. And I don't know, I kind of like how we're small. Like I like recognizing everyone's name, and I like, I don't know, like knowing each other, you know? So I don't know. I don't want to go chase a lure of a lot of people, because I think we lose the integrity in community when it's so many people. I don't know, maybe not, but I just don't want to chase the vanity metrics, you know? Um James, what Great. What pub, bar, time, date? I'll let you know. Nitro's boys, not sure. So, so are you not sure if you would join to hang out and play a game, or is it more so you're not sure um, about what we should actually do? But I would like to do something because fun is so important. And even what y'all were sharing about what's life giving to you, I don't know, maybe we'll do a fishing trip. um, all right, y'all. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to be on again tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Tomorrow night, we're going to be chatting about how to know if you're on the right track in your life. And then I think next week, I don't know, maybe like Wednesday, we do a fun game night and we just really have fun. I would love that. Let's do it. Let's have a game night next week. Um I'll figure out what we'll do. James says any quiz we'll do. Oh, that's actually a good idea. Um Keeber, hello. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, my horse. That's so funny. Nitros boys. I am right now, I'm in Maryland. I'm with my family. I'm going to be flying to Arizona on Tuesday. I'm going to be back in Maryland at the end of the month because my dad and I are doing a family company party. Um, if you guys are in the Maryland area, let me know and then I'll invite you. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Sounds fun. I'll be there. Yay. Y'all, I really, really, I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling excited about doing this thing next year in person. Um, and then in the meantime, some events that are coming up for those who have said that they're interested. Um, March 26th through 29th, I'm hosting a knowing retreat in Scottsdale, Arizona. Those events are like very, very curated. And this is the first time I'm like publicly announcing it. Usually I just handpick everybody. But I haven't had the chance to meet some of y'all in person. And I feel like for those of you who have been engaged and like here, it's almost like you're curated. I don't know. Like we have a relationship, we have a friendship. And so I would love for all of y'all listening, if you guys want to do that. I feel like you'd fit right in and would love to have you. Usually it's business owners and people who are really looking to go deep. I call it the boot camp of the soul. Like it's not simple, it's not easy. And it is kind of like pulling forth, like who's in there. So that's in Scottsdale. And then there's this upcoming event, February 28th, that my dad and I are doing. I'm hosting a knowing dinner the 24th in DC. So I don't know. I don't know if any of y'all are local, but if you guys want to do the retreat in Scottsdale, Arizona, March 26th through 29th, the goal is to get to know who we are. Anthony, hi from Australia. Nazing, greetings from this Garbian Islands. Oh, hello. Thank you for joining. Grow as the creator seems fit. I love that. I appreciate you, Brian. It was so meaningful to see you today on Foundation First Marketing. Thank you. Tickets right now, they're $1,500 for the retreat. So they are kind of expensive, but it includes your lodging and food and alcohol, everything it's 4 nights. So we would start on a Thursday and on Sunday. So Thursday night, Friday night. So I guess 3 nights. So it includes lodging, it includes all the food, all the materials, everything. As long as you stream. Oh gosh, you know what? I'll go live those nights that I'm doing the retreat, but I can't make the whole thing live because people are going to be sharing probably very vulnerable things. The great one, I'm in Wisconsin. If you want to fly, I would love to have you. Brian says not bad. Y'all, the goal so much. I'm even thinking of making knowing a nonprofit because I know that I obviously need to make money to live, clearly, but I want to make that like knowing yourself so accessible. I'm like, I'll get the government to pay me. Like, let's do that. Like, let's get government donations or I don't know, corporate donations. I don't want to have to charge people. That's so not my heart. My heart is to really, I don't know. My heart is that everyone knows the kind of freedom that's on the other side of healing, and what's really truly possible, man, life is amazing. So, um, oh, Hubert, I understand your accent and I listened to it for learning English. Well, I'm so glad you're here. I need to not talk so fast so that you can understand me better. um, Loudspeaker, thank you. I love this turtleneck. God bless it. I've worn it so much. It's been so cold. It was snowing this afternoon. There's probably about 6 inches of snow, like just layered up outside. Um, listen, Americano. Leave Greenland. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a funny message. I have no I'm so sorry about what's going on. Um, all right, y'all. I am going to jump off. It's my bedtime. I need to go to bed. I have a 10 p.m. bedtime, and that's in 39 minutes. So I got to go get ready. Um, so thank you so much for joining. I hope you all have such a wonderful night. I will be going live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for A Course in Miracles, our daily lesson. And then I will be going live tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for discussing how to make sure that we're living our life on the right track. So with that, thank you all so much. Good night, Brian. Good night, friends. I hope you all have